Hello, ladies and gentlemen, on this brand new edition of Real Talk with B. We will discuss the MLB Lockout, and we will discuss the WNBA fiasco with the New York Liberty being fined by the league for charter flights. Now, first of all, the MLB Lockout. I understand both sides. I understand the plight they both under. I get the situation that they're encountering in terms of that's why the union exists. So I want to be neutral here. All right. The players have more of a beef here. That's why there's a union. And that's why they're the best union in all of sports. Or maybe in the country. It was created many years ago for this very purpose, to defend the interests of the players, because the owners clearly right now, regarding the lockout, are about their bottom lines, and a lot of the owners don't invest in the sport of baseball, and they're not going to lose me as a fan. I'm a baseball fan. I grew up with it. It's in my blood. You know, I'm of Hispanic origin, so that definitely helps. So they definitely can change the pace of play and stuff of that nature. But in general, I understand this, and I'm not looking at it emotionally. They're gonna meet apparently on Thursday. Well, they're meeting today. Excuse me. Today's Thursday. They're gonna meet today regarding logistics and stuff. But we shall see if the owners are hearing the fans here. Regardless if I understand their position because of what's happening in the world and everything. But they have to understand as well that they have to think about the people, And I understand this is a business. This is just not about baseball in general. So that's kind of my 2 cents. I understand the situation. I get it. I'm not happy about it. They're not going to lose me. But I'm more on the side of the players to summarize here in general when it comes to this labor dispute. Because they deserve a little more of the pie because baseball can just sit and make money because it's a museum too. You can go and it's an experience. It's just not about the game. And then you can get the logistics of the game about pace of play and stuff like that. But for now, I understand the owners and everything, but the owners can just sit. They have all their interests. And the players definitely can get a better shake of the pie here in terms of revenue for players at this point in time. For the players, they can boost up the pay and do some other things because there should be a way to get it going. So that's my 2 cents. I can get into the other stuff later on. And the other aspect of my video is regarding the WNBA and the charter flights. I think that the charter flights, this is something that I don't know why they got fined. I believe there's going to be a way in the future that these women can play in the States year round. But my goodness, some owners care than others apparently. Some owners care more than others. They own the team, so the owner that owns the Nets, if he wants to give them the opportunity to fly more comfortable, let them fly. What's the big diff? Just because other owners don't do it and because that's not the league standard, that's ridiculous. You're not going to lose a team or dismantle a team because of such action. Them, and I think the Las Vegas Aces, they care. I know LA has been a prominent team and New York was a prominent team and the Comets, but even the Comets, when they won their 4 championships, they're no longer a team. The Detroit Shock won a couple of championships. So this is something where if the owner cares enough to give them comfort, for them to travel, it humanizes the sport. It humanizes them as women because they can play. And they deserve a fair shot at this. And I think this is such a despicable display of overreach, of control by the league as a whole because it's not going to affect the owner, but it just looks bad. Some players are resorting to other means of income and have to find out a way to make income within the league. But in general, at least they should be given this opportunity to participate in the sport the way they need to participate. Because at the end of the day, they are professionals as well. They leave college and they play professional overseas. So at least they can do what they here. They can get the experience like the other players do in their professional counterparts. That generally they are in 5-star hotels and all this stuff. I can only imagine what these women have to put up with compared to the men. Because what they're basically getting paid is a stipend. So I'm on the side of the system. If you're willing to invest in your team, which a Brooklyn Nets owner is willing to invest in deliveries, because he's got ownership, and he's got ownership, part ownership, or full ownership to some degree. That should be allowed, and that should be an example to other organizations to make that push, because eventually I hope these women that are professional ball players can stay in the States and don't have to resort to other means or go overseas to play, because they at least can get that luxury. They at least can get that ability to say, hey, I'm going to city. It's a shortened season anyway, but at least I can get an opportunity to play because I'm getting paid peanuts or whatever. These women, yeah, they're women. They can get all their means, but they're professionals at the end of the day. They play college. They can play ball. They're as fundamentally sound more nowadays than the men. So this is such a sad story, and I think, they should be celebrated and applauded than the opposite, because every owner or the league itself should accommodate the women more than having to go through this situation. It's foolishness in my opinion. So that's my 2 cents on the matter, on the MLB lockout and the WNBA situation with the charter flights. So this is a fluid situation in terms of the MLB lockout, so time will tell with this, but like I said, they're not going to lose me as a fan, and I understand the labor impasse here. Hopefully, sooner and not much longer, we will see some baseball. But definitely, it's a tough time, but I think it's needed, because this is why a union was created, to have this kind of discourse back and forth, because it exposes both sides, but also it exposes what is in your heart, which is obviously not wanting to spend if you're looking at it from the owner's perspective. And the WNBA deserves a little better public relations than this embarrassment. So this has been Real Talk with B for the time being. And thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you like. All right. Blessings.